Hey everyone, my name is Taps, and I hope you caught my recent live stream where I hopped on to cover the exciting news around Kahn being featured in Inc. magazine, an incredible spread that actually featured Gary Vee on the cover, and briefly tried to go over some recent talk that Logan Paul had on his channel. I have never been so excited on a stream. I literally thought my heart was going to beat out of its chest. But I've had time to collect, gather the pieces, do the research, and put it all together. In this video, I'm going to go over how all of these things add up to what I believe is going to be a Nintendo and Pokemon partnership being announced from Ecomi and Veve either later this year or the start of next year in 2022, which is only 2 months away. I'm also going to go over why I believe Gary Vee and Logan Paul actually may be involved as well. So far, most of the early speculation that I've done over the months has actually come true. I believe this one just adds up and will send Veve and OMI to the moon. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the community and feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell for future content. I'm a crypto stock and real estate investor, but never a financial advisor. Now, I've shared I legitimately thought we would not see Pokemon or Nintendo until like 2022, even Disney. But it's looking more like this is possible and gearing up to once OMI actually transitions to Immutable X and is functioning solid, which we could see again at the end of the year. So as I showed in that live stream, this is Inc. magazine, Gary Vee on the cover, talking about how he's going to make you rich again through NFTs. And the very next page behind the cover is highlighting Kahn. And in the magazine, Kahn actually even has a much longer excerpt than Gary Vee himself does. It goes through Kahn's rise to fame with like Quiz Whiz and Toyland and for kids entertainment, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Cabbage Patch Kids. And then it covers his fall from fame, but then how he is choosing to not just retire, but rise from the ashes and go out on top through his swan song through Veve NFTs. On stream, I actually read the entire piece about NFTs and Veve and David Yu and how it all came to be with Kahn. But here's my question. Why now? Why a massive piece about Kahn in a massive publication that gets 33 million eyes a month? I looked. There have been no news updates on Kahn, Kidtagious, CraneCon, nothing out there, and then this, boom, comes out. So why now? Why in an article right next to Gary Vee? Let's connect the dots. First of all, this is massive PR, as again, 33 million eyes a month come to this online, and Gary Vee and Kahn are the only pieces in the article about NFTs. It seems like we're finally seeing the PR handiwork of Rogers and Cohen, who Ecomi and Veve chose to partner with just about 6 months ago. But again, let's answer the first question. Why are Gary and Kahn the NFT pieces in the same article? My theory is the question of when marketing is going to be answered very soon, and the answer is Gary. This, of course, is speculative, but hear me out. We do have an amazing marketing team of two with Alex G, who's the Senior Director of Marketing for Veve, and Noah, who is also working on marketing and community with Veve as well. But Veve's goal is to become a household name. And while our team of two is great, how do you reach the masses while remaining lean and agile with your internal team? You outsource to a marketing firm, preferably one who understands your goals and product. Enter VaynerMedia. So this is Gary Vee's media company, right? Like this is his company, his project right behind it. Gary is a pillar in the NFT space, and his media company, all of the goals and strategy sounds like it aligns very well. Curiosity unleashed, business outcomes, not potential reach. We're about people, borrow our brains. And this all stems back actually to earlier in the year. Now, if you're an OG who's been around since, March, then you may have forgotten, but I don't. Back in April, Gary Vee was playfully tweeting with some of the Ecomi fam, like showing interest in Veve and Ecomi. And this is April 2021. And then he revealed this call on Twitter. We all got hyped like, Gary Vee's working with Veve, oh my gosh. And then he basically wrote it off and said, oh, they seem like nice guys and a cool project, so I just wanted to connect. That's all it was? Because Gary Vee isn't wildly busy in building an empire of his own that he has just time to shoot the breeze? I don't buy it. And the call didn't say Veve X Gary Vee or Gary Vaynerchuk. It said Veve x VaynerMedia, which VaynerMedia is one of multiple companies that Gary Vee owns. And immediately after this, Gary just stopped engaging and stopped communicating instantly. Almost like an NDA was signed. But now we're seeing new life because Immutable X migration is near. So I shared this on the stream, but Gary Vee tweeted about Immutable X. And why? Well, Immutable X did raise $60 million in Series B funding from multiple venture firms, including Gary Vee's Vayner Fund, and he is a part of the TikTok moments that are coming out on Immutable X. But you think he's only going to invest in the Immutable ecosystem? You don't think he'd want to go a layer deeper and support the project that is crushing with revenue and IP, Veve? Not to mention he's technically an artist with his VeeFriend, so maybe one day we could see his doodles in our showrooms, who knows? The Immutable X marketplace is growing super fast with solid projects, and there are many amazing projects on Immutable X, but Veve has been garnering a ton of spotlight and will be the premier collectibles project on Immutable, and it isn't even visible yet in their marketplace. But don't take my word for it. Take Bitcoin Express, which is over 100,000 subs, fantastic channel. He presents great information. Shout out to Shaq for tagging me in this.
But out of all of these new projects, there is one that stands out, one that I am the most excited for, and that is Veve. Veve is not going to be a popular app. Veve already is a popular application. Veve is an app-based marketplace for premium licensed digital collectibles. Veve is partnered with some of the world's largest brands, and Veve and its larger ecosystem, Ecomi, will be migrating to Immutable X. This is very big news. Currently, Veve and Ecomi is on the Go chain, but they will be migrating to Ethereum and Immutable X. And this alone, I believe, will be a major catalyst for new users into the Immutable X ecosystem. Not only that, I do believe we will see other major brands look at Ecomi and Veve and follow suit.
So I believe VaynerMedia is doing something behind the scenes, and we will see eventually that come to fruition once we're on Immutable X. But this also ties to Logan Paul. I brought him up on stream as well. For those who aren't in the know, Logan Paul is one of the most well-known influencers and Pokemon card fanatics and collectors out there. His YouTube channel, Impulsive, has over 3 million subscribers. His own personal channel has more. And in this exact clip, he's talking about this impressive story about how Gary Vee had, 2 Charizard cards, like 2 of the only ones in the world, and how he actually bought a card off Gary, cut it open, got it crossed over to then be the 3rd, and then his buddy says something really unique. Listen.
Is it to know that that's not even the craziest Pokemon story? I'm not saying that we could say shit, but I'm just saying, like, isn't that wild to imagine that what the story you just told is paled dramatically by a story that you will tell in the next and this will only matter to Pokemon fans out there, but like you guys have your brains cannot even begin to fathom what has occurred. So I won't even begin to spoil or try to make you understand.
It's large.
There's something in play with Pokemon that they know about. Now throwback to March of earlier this year and a howdy hotshots. Shout out to the OG of OG OMI creators, Earth2 Mastery. But let's not forget that Logan Paul is aware of OMI and has mentioned OMI many months ago.
Full of shit. They're like, oh, this is business, bunch of memes and jokes. Tiny bit of fucking business talks. I call Logan, I go, is this a business term? He goes, nope, just a meme. I said, hang up the phone. I said, OMI tokens are wagon. George texted me in a separate chat. He said, what is wagon?
Referring to OMI token as a wagon can't be stopped. Back then, so he's familiar. He knows the project. But back then he was tied up with Bondly, a different NFT project that he was doing something of his own. Then over summer into fall, he was involved with CryptoZoo, his own, again, unique project. But also in this video, he talks about how there is a new project that he's coming into, and he's wrapping up this one. Not if, when Veve announces Pokemon, and in my opinion, probably the Pokemon cards first, instead of having multiple influencers spread the word, wouldn't it make sense to work with one who has a massive following, is thoroughly passionate about them, and has the ear of most of the fandom? When we look at Logan Paul's Twitter, we can see he's following both Veve and Ecomi, which is pretty funny. And when we look at Ecomi's Twitter, we can see that they are also following Logan Paul as well. Now, Ecomi only follows 680 people, which are usually only people in the community who've been around and are active, as well as direct business affiliates mostly. And to put that in perspective, just how selective they are, like let's look at some of the competitors. Quid has about 1/9 the size of following, but they have more that they're following. So they are very, very selective. So clearly Logan is involved with something that's coming from Pokemon, and it was directly following when he was talking about Gary Vee. Now, could it be just him doing something with Pokemon NFTs? No. I looked into Nintendo as a company and their nature, and they are tons and tons of articles on how incredibly conservative, careful, and strategic Nintendo is. They are going to be incredibly selective with who can utilize their IP the best in the NFT world, who can make a ton of consistent revenue for them, who are on the right blockchain, and who can bring in the most fandom and passion for Pokemon. Veve. Veve has proven that they can dominate with massive, massive brands like Disney and Pixar and Marvel and DC, and are well on their way to 1 million users by the end of the year, which is unfathomable for most crypto projects. On top of that, they're going to Immutable X, whose first project, Gods Unchained, a trading card blockchain game, crushed. So it's actually a proof point that card NFTs can be successful and compatible with ERC 1155, which means you don't just need to sell one card NFT at a time. You can batch sell. So you could sell a couple cards or an entire deck. It's perfect. So as I said, Nintendo and Pokemon are a very careful, conservative, and calculated company. So they're going to put their NFT debut into the hands of a project and people that they trust. And now we've gone full circle from the start of this video. Kahn, who popped up out of nowhere next to Gary Vee in the Inc. magazine talking about Pokemon NFTs and Veve. Kahn, Ecomi and Veve's head of global licensing since 2018 and the man responsible for bringing Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! To the US. Kahn, who's held the Nintendo and Pokemon licensing and knows the leadership personally since 1997. 24 years of trust built. And David Yu, Ecomi and Veve's CEO, who actually helped Kahn back in 1998, 23 years ago, bring Pokemon cards and toys to Australia and New Zealand. I went through that in the entire article that I read as well. David Yu, whose company Vagabond Games still today holds the Pokemon card game and Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game licensing. And of course, Jeremy Padower, who holds the Master Toy license for Pokemon and has been an advisor with Ecomi for almost 2 years. This article, man, the full spread of a major magazine just seems too random, doesn't it? So when? What are Pokemon and Nintendo and Gary and Logan all waiting for? Immutable. Everything is simultaneously coming together as phase 3, where we migrate finally should start. And once it's all complete, I believe the master plan will be revealed and boom, the world is ours. I'm very careful about what I present. I do hours and hours and hours, days of research. And if I don't believe it, if it doesn't add up, I won't present it. This all adds up to me. So again, based on all this, I believe we'll see Nintendo Pokemon in December, depending on how the Immutable goes, or the beginning of the year. And I believe Gary Vee and Logan Paul are involved somehow as well. Ecomi and Veve are playing 4D chess, and everything will be revealed soon enough. The king of NFTs is coming for the crown, and the first power move is with Immutable X. As always, I hope you found my content valuable, and if so, please hit the like button and leave a comment down below. The likes and comments appease the algo overlords and help my channel to continue to grow. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell for future content. That's it for today. I'm Taps. Thank you for your time, and happy trading.